Prabu Kiansantang, also known as Raden Sangara, is a legendary figure in Sundanese history whose birth is said to have occurred in the mid-8th century, though some versions place him slightly earlier or later depending on regional traditions. He was born into the royal family of the Sunda kingdom. The son of the renowned Sri Baduga Maharaja, his mother is said to be Nyai Subanglarang, a woman of noble lineage and a follower of early Islamic teachings. The name Kiansantang has been interpreted in various ways. Kian suggests something noble, elevated, or spiritual, while Santang is often associated with peace and serenity, a noble prince who seeks peace and wisdom rather than mere conquest. His other name, Raden Sangara, highlights his youthful title of nobility, Raden, and is rooted in the oral traditions of his early years as a brave and adventurous warrior prince. His birth occurred during a time of great transformation in the Sunda kingdom. The realm was expanding its influence, establishing coastal outposts and forging connections with other Southeast Asian polities. The young prince was raised in the royal court of Pakuan Pajajaran, where he received training in warfare, diplomacy, statecraft, and religious philosophy. From an early age, he was known for his discipline, his firm moral compass, and an unshakable devotion to justice. As a royal prince, Kiansantang was surrounded by the elite scholars and warriors of the kingdom. He received comprehensive education not only in traditional Sundanese beliefs rooted in Hinduism and Buddhism, but also in Islamic teachings, thanks to his mother's influence. Kiansantang's early years were marked by tales of courage and compassion. Several legends tell of his youthful adventures across West Java, where he helped villagers defend themselves against bandits, resolved feuds among nobles, and mediated disputes between clans. He quickly gained a reputation as a just and fair prince, one who refused to wield power for his own gain, but always sought to uphold dharma, or cosmic righteousness. Despite his martial talents, Kiansantang was not driven by a desire for conquest. Instead, he leaned toward spiritual understanding and introspection. He often spent time in secluded places, meditating and seeking divine truth. According to Sundanese folklore, he frequently visited Mount Sikare and the Sipanas region, where he is said to have encountered sages and holy men who guided his inner transformation. His family dynamics were complex. While his father, Prabu Siliwangi, embodied royal authority and military greatness, his mother represented spiritual wisdom and ethical restraint. These opposing forces shaped the prince's worldview, leading him to develop a unique identity, one that would later fuel his role as both a warrior king and a spiritual guide. Kiansantang was not the immediate heir to the throne, but his wisdom and popularity among the people and court nobles made him a favored candidate. When his older brother or designated successor declined or was deemed unsuitable, Kiansantang was chosen to lead a portion of the Sunda kingdom, possibly governing the western or southern regions as a vassal or co-regent under his father. As a ruler, Kiansantang emphasized justice, the well-being of his subjects, and religious tolerance. He maintained strong ties with coastal trading communities and supported the development of agriculture and local economies. His court was known to welcome scholars, poets, and religious teachers from across the archipelago, making his reign a vibrant period of cultural and intellectual exchange. Kiansantang was particularly focused on spiritual reform. He is believed to have invited teachers of Islamic faith to his court, encouraging peaceful discussions and interfaith dialogue. Although he did not enforce conversion, his governance created a fertile ground for the spread of Islam in the western parts of Java. His balanced and inclusive approach won him admiration from diverse communities. His military campaigns were limited and mostly defensive. He fortified his territories against external threats, especially from aggressive neighboring kingdoms in Java and Sumatra. His rule is most remembered for being stable, peaceful, and progressive, an era where people of various backgrounds coexisted in harmony. As he matured, Kiansantang began to feel the pull of spirituality even more strongly. Around this time, stories tell of a divine vision or calling that instructed him to relinquish power and seek greater truths beyond the boundaries of royal life. In a grand royal assembly, he announced his decision to abdicate the throne and appointed a trusted noble relative or son to continue his legacy of just governance. After leaving the palace, Kiansantang embarked on a journey across the Indonesian archipelago and eventually traveled to the Middle East. According to oral traditions and later Islamic chronicles in Sundanese texts, he journeyed to Mecca, where he deepened his understanding of Islam and formally embraced it. His spiritual pilgrimage marked a turning point in his life. He returned not as a prince or king, but as a wali, a spiritual guide. Upon returning to Sunda, Kiansantang resumed traveling, this time not as a ruler, but as a preacher. He visited numerous regions across West Java, including Garut, Cirebon, and even parts of Sumedang. His presence inspired conversions, not through coercion but through personal example and moral clarity. His reputation as a pious, enlightened leader grew, and many began to regard him as a saint. His withdrawal from political power and embrace of spiritual leadership created a lasting model of ethical kingship and religious humility, influencing many rulers in the region who followed. As with many semi-mythical figures in Sundanese culture, Kiansantang is believed to have possessed supernatural abilities granted through divine favor and spiritual discipline. Local folklore tells of his incredible strength, the power to move swiftly between distant places, and the ability to read people's hearts and intentions. Some legends claim he could disappear at will and summon rain during times of drought. He was also said to possess a sacred heirloom weapon, known as the Kujang Kiansantang, a divine blade forged with magical energy and spiritual potency. This pusaka was believed to be unbreakable, able to cut through any material, and radiated a protective aura. It symbolized not just martial strength, but spiritual authority, passed down only to those deemed worthy by both the ancestors and the divine. Another legendary object associated with him was a prayer mat or staff that he used during his travels. These items were believed to contain blessings and were venerated long after his passing. In some villages, sacred springs or stones are still linked to Kiansantang's presence, and locals recount tales of miracles associated with his touch. His supernatural aura added to his mystique and helped bridge the reverence for old Hindu-Buddhist warrior kings with the rising esteem for Islamic saints, wali. Kiansantang, therefore, became a unique figure who transcended religious boundaries, uniting cultural and spiritual traditions. Prabu Kiansantang eventually passed away in peace, though the exact date and location of his death remain unknown and are steeped in mystery. Some say he died during his travels, possibly in the Garut region or even in Cirebon. Others believe he vanished into the spiritual realm, much like other legendary kings who were said to mystically disappear rather than die. His tomb, or Makam Karamat, is widely believed to be located in Godog, near Garut, West Java. The site has become a major pilgrimage destination, visited by those seeking blessings, healing, and spiritual guidance. His tomb complex often features Islamic motifs, blending local Sundanese heritage with Islamic traditions, reflecting the syncretic legacy he left behind. Kiansantang's memory endures in West Java through folklore, oral stories, local performances, and even place names. Villages, roads, and schools bear his name, and his tales are taught as part of cultural education. He is viewed not only as a warrior and king, but also as a symbol of moral leadership and spiritual awakening. In today's world, Prabu Kiansantang stands as a bridge between the old and the new, between kingdoms and faiths, between political power and spiritual depth. His story continues to inspire generations across the Sundanese and broader Indonesian cultural landscape.